Hello. Bonjour. Welcome to our modest, typically French house. My husband and I recently took advantage of our kids being away to deep clean our house, and it seemed like the perfect opportunity to film a tour. As we tour it, I'll highlight the quintessentially French features and our personal favorites. I'm Susie, I'm American, and I've lived in Dijon, France for over 15 years. On this channel, I discuss personal finance and life in France. And what's more revealing about someone's lifestyle than a peek inside their home? Our house, built in 1933, is about 1,200 square feet or 110 square meters. We bought this house in 2013 and did a complete renovation of it over the course of about a year. I'll link below to a video about the renovation process. When we started the renovation, our first priority was to modernize our house and bring it into the 21st century by updating everything you can't see. All new insulation, electricity, plumbing, then drywall, flooring, windows, and once that first major phase of the renovation was done, we were pretty much out of money, and so we've been very slowly decorating it and finalizing the house since then. As a child, I dreamed of becoming an architect, and while that didn't happen, my passion for decorating and architecture remains strong. Renovating this house, decorating our first apartment, and recently transforming our garage into a short-term rental have all been incredibly fulfilling, especially because I have a very willing and capable teammate in my husband, who is really the only one of us with the technical skills to execute the ideas that we come up with. We like to live in a tidy, uncluttered space. Our little secret, or rather what makes this type of living possible for us, at least on the main floor of the house, is that we have a full unfinished basement where we can stock our stuff. I'll take you down there briefly at the end of the video. Despite its size, our home feels spacious in part due to the high ceilings. In fact, we've intentionally created a cozy, thoughtful space inspired by Sarah Suzanska's Not So Big House, which emphasizes that quality of space is more important than the quantity. Put simply, most humans enjoy spending time in thoughtful, cozy spaces. The idea is that we don't necessarily need more space. We need to make sure that we use the space we do have to its full potential and that we feel comfortable spending time in it. Also, I love decorating with little local artifacts from flea markets or eBay. You'll see lots of little nods to Dijon, our city, on this tour if you know what to look for. I'll give you a few hints. Owls, polar bears, mustard pots, etc. All right, let's get started with the dining room. When we returned from a trip to Denmark in 2018, during which some friends lent us their gorgeous apartment, which had a bench in the dining room, I came home both more passionate about biking and desperately wanting a built-in bench in our dining room. So my husband hacked these IKEA kitchen cabinets, 6 of which fit perfectly along this wall, creating storage and seating. We had some acoustic issues in here, even after having added curtains, rugs, and furniture. There's just a lot of flat drywall happening here, but this paneling has made a big difference. The black material between each length of wood is felt, which definitely helps to absorb sound. On the bench, we had these cushions made by a local upholsterer. They probably look like the simplest thing you could imagine, but even this detail took a lot of thought and resources. But this bench has greatly improved the livability of this space. It's definitely cozier now. Plus, we can flip the dining room table around and add extra leaves to the table to seat more people in here, thanks to the extra seating on the bench. We also have built-in speakers in this space, which is a nice touch. On this floor, aside from in the bathroom, you'll notice we have imitation wood tiling, which has held up perfectly over the years, and which we love so much, we even put it in our short-term rental. If you watch our tour of our short-term rental, which I'll link to below, you'll notice a lot of repetition in terms of style and materials, like this flooring, this paneling, and more. I feel like the dining room side of this open space is more or less finished, whereas the living room side is still definitely a work in progress. On this side, the living room side, we have our couch and these vintage chairs that we inherited from my father-in-law. They're over 40 years old and sadly much worse for the wear. He also passed this coffee table on to us, and this TV stand is also a hand-me-down from a friend. Here is the first of several damjans you'll see around our house. Even though everything may look incredibly simple, many objects have some purpose or personal meaning, like this blanket, bought on a trip with dear friends to Ireland. The objects that we surround ourselves with every day are pieces that we value, but nothing is too fancy or precious to be used. We do actually have underfloor heating. That was part of the renovation process, but we hardly ever use it because our little wood stove heats the whole house in winter. The wood stove has 3 faces, glass, open, and closed, and can pivot. So we can aim the window towards the dining room in the winter so we can take advantage of the coziness of the flames while we're eating, and then we can turn it back towards ourselves in the living room if we're sitting in here watching TV. Ironically, this is called an American kitchen because it's not closed off the way it was before the renovation. This is a very hardworking 10-year-old IKEA kitchen that's doing its job beautifully and really standing the test of time, despite showing its age in a few places. And I have another whole video about our kitchen, which I'll link to below as well. One little detail I love in here in particular is this built-in shelf under the window that matches the wooden windowsills in the living room, dining room, and in the den, which you'll see in a minute. All of the windows in our house have these electric shutters, which I also think of as quintessentially French. In fact, any little ledge or shelf is a good place for us to display some of our treasures like local vintage pieces or plants. This tiny room right off the kitchen and beyond the downstairs bathroom might just be my favorite space. We call it the den because originally this room was mainly used as a little TV room and sometimes a guest room, but when the pandemic came, it also became my office space with the addition of this built-in desk, built by my husband and a very handy friend. Overnight, I became an online teacher, and I originally camped out in the dining room, but it was not conducive, and at some point my husband had the brilliant idea to build me a desk in our little den. And again, another window with an electric shade. These vintage hooks are where we hang all our family's coats, rain jackets, hoodies, vests, etc. It's usually a lot more packed than this. Tiny spaces can be pleasant, cozy, and high-performing. Sarah Suzanska calls these spaces the away room, a quiet place where you can close the door and focus on reading, watching TV, or work. Another cozy feature of this room I love is this built-in bookshelf that my husband made. There used to be a door to the living room here. It adds character and functionality, and it's a good place to display a few vintage postcards of our city from eBay. This is our little downstairs bathroom with this nice walk-in shower. It has a towel heater, which is pretty common in France, which provides heat for the bathroom, in addition to the underfloor heat, neither of which we use much. We did not anticipate how infrequently we'd use other sources of heat in our house. Heading upstairs, I love this little light and these decorative knobs. On the landing is where we keep a bunch of our kids' books and our pothos plants. I love how sunny the upstairs bathroom is thanks to the skylight. It's the perfect place for this purple heart plant. This is our family bathroom. All 4 of us get ready here in the morning with just this one sink, and it's fine. We love the convenience of having a second bathroom downstairs just in case, but it's just more practical for us to all use this one to shower and get ready in the morning. Showering with the skylight open right above you in the summer is almost like taking a shower outside. There's another towel heater as the heat source in here as well. One concession of being under the eaves is this sloped mirror, another one of my husband's bright ideas. 3 bedrooms in the bathroom up here are under the very sloped eaves, which we're used to now, but also adds a coziness to the space. These rooms do get pretty hot in the summer because we don't have central AC, but it's tolerable. I'm just going to show you a few photos of the bedrooms from a few years ago when we tried to rent our house out on Airbnb while we were on vacation. The bedrooms had been heavily pared down just for these photos, but you still get the idea. Another thing to notice is the complete lack of closet space. We have 0 closets. Each kid's wardrobe fits in their dresser, and my husband and I just have a dresser and clothes hanging rack in our bedroom. I change out my wardrobe twice a year, keeping most winter items in the basement in the summer and vice versa, but my husband doesn't need to do that. There's an electric radiator in each of the bedrooms, which we've only ever turned on a handful of times because the wood stove does just such a good job of heating the entire house, as I mentioned before. When I was a kid, I dreamed of sleeping under a skylight, and somehow that dream has become reality. And here is the basement where we do laundry, stock food, and winter clothes. My husband has a workshop down here. The kids paint figurines. We keep all the supplies for our Airbnb, Christmas decorations, you name it. Thanks to the basement, we can keep the upstairs relatively uncluttered and minimal. Not so beautiful down here, entirely utilitarian, but we are so grateful that we have this space. So thanks for coming on this tour today. This is merely what the house looked like on one random day, a day that it was particularly picked up and presentable. Our style of small-scale living is pleasant. Our house was affordable to buy back in the day, and it's still affordable to maintain. We love our house. We love the city where we live, and we feel so lucky to live here. If you want to see what it looked like before and during the renovation, then check out this video. In it, I also talk about a couple of regrets we have and discuss what we still have to do. The work is never done, is it? Thanks for watching, and until next time, à bientôt!